Once they started editing and stuff, I mean, you know, even shooting, like, that's a lot of stuff to kind of keep track of because, you know, just the technique of how they did it. So it's just a much more complex kind of film.
Charlie Mark.
It's very cool. You're seeing through the eyes of the people in the film. And it doesn't feel like you're watching a movie, it feels like you're in the movie. Just watching the dailies, I've seen some really upsetting things. It's because you're on the shoulders of us. You're seeing things through our eyes. It's super upsetting.
The thing about the original Blair Witch and what we did on this film is it really is the point of view of those two cameras only. In that film's case, in ours we had 6, 7, or 8 maybe. I think we had 8.
It's almost like an inverse of like when you're trying to shoot somebody at a round table, like 5 people at a round table and everybody's got dialogue. And in those scenarios, you can, you know, shoot yourself in the foot by just shooting everything and, well, let's figure out what's good later. Well, we didn't have that luxury.
And we stuck religiously to a camera that someone's wearing or being pointed at is the only thing you can cut to. There are no cameras that are being set up anywhere else. A lot of found footage movies kind of give up on the found footage thing at some point. We don't do that. We stuck very, very closely to those rules.
It was like half under, half out, but you had to dig a little. So it's your fault. Just kind of out half from the beginning.
The conversations Adam and I had were the beginning of the movie would look like a traditional documentary. And then as we got further and further into the film, we would use more and more of the cameras to kind of give it more of a feel of a traditional film in the found footage genre. And as the characters got out into the woods, we do this with sound. Things get less realistic and more fantastic, more magical, because they are in an enchanted forest. And then the ending, the last, say, 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes, is cut very quickly, like an action movie. What Adam and I try to do is, it's simple. We try and make things as awesome as possible. That's what we're trying to get at. And so how you get there it can be it can be something he's come up with, I've come up with, it doesn't matter. It's just fantastic. We have a ton of fun. We put a ton of work into the cut. If you look at the soundtracks, we've got, every one of them's got something on it. They're deep and is very, very layered, very dense. Adam also is a sound designer and he's a composer. If we need something, if I need a cue, if we need to design a particular sound, he can do it right there. I mean, we will switch chairs in the Avid all the time. And we have a deal too. The deal is, if anybody likes something that's been in the movie that's been edited, I take credit for it. And anything people don't like, I say he did it.
All right, there we go.
The trick with found footage is the camera has to be doing what the actor is doing. So the camera is a performance in and of itself, and the actor has to be performing too. So we wound up going into the hundreds on particular takes, on setups, which is quite a bit. But a lot of it would have to do with, you know, getting the actor, who's moving almost always, and the camera in concert with one another until it was perfect. With this film, what I love about this movie is you can do pretty much, well, you can't do pretty much anything, but it opens up a lot of possibilities, storytelling-wise.
Did you see her?
What do you mean?
I missed it the first time too. Hang on.
One of the coolest things about the movie is the time loop and the time mechanism. So we start out, you're seeing a video that's going to be played back at the end. We knew we wanted to have glitches in the film. What I wanted to do is, while we were going through dailies, I'd see glitches, authentic glitches from the cameras we were using. And some of them had these really cool panels where you'd see different images, like 8 or 10 of them. So as I was putting these in, whenever we'd use them, I noticed that, you know, hey, what if we use these panels to help tell the story? So I took images maybe from later in the film and earlier in the film, you know, to show a little bit about the character. I think Adam shot a bunch of stuff with Lane and Talia that was going to be part of a short. So there's Lane and Talia in the forest pointing at like a pile of rocks they found and things they found in the tree, and they're happy. So if you look at the glitches, not all of them, but quite a few of them have some additional story elements. Like when Peter gets yanked out by the witch, you see him standing in the corner in a glitch in that sequence. Well, you know, I think that the shafts of light coming through is the sun passing by the building. I think a day passed when James looked out the window.
What the fuck was that?
James and I sort of went back and forth before we talked to Adam about the light coming through. You know, the question came, well, how do you know it's one day? I mean, maybe it's just lightning being held out and time is being expanded, or maybe expanded isn't the right word, but time is being elongated and the lightning strike is just being held.
It was very, very tense, that scene. You know, James is up there with Lisa, and he kind of tells Lisa that he says, I'm sorry for bringing you here, this is all my fault. And then once he does that, to me anyway, I think the witch knows she's got him. And then he winds up giving himself up because he hears the voice, Lisa doesn't hear it, and then he's gone. I think also for me, you know, Lisa, right before she gets taken away by the witch, I think she's also given up. I think when she's resigned to the fate. She does hear the voice, she turns, and that's how that worked for me.
You guys hear that? Oh, Lane! Lane, what the fuck, man?
I think Adam and Simon, they wanted to have every different kind of scare. They didn't want to repeat any of the scares in the film. One of my favorite things is the jump scares, because the jump scares are effective to me anyway, but we also kind of poke fun at using as many jump scares.
Everyone stop doing that.
It was really a lot of fun. Adam and I found, you know, jump scares. We did a lot of experimenting with them, and sometimes, this is kind of a bit of a trick, but sometimes people don't have to actually enter into the frame in a jump scare. They can just be in the frame. And the sound for them is huge. Jeff Pitts did a great job of that, and they scare the crap out of people, and they're very unsettling.
Who is that?
Now that's, to me, the jump scares are part of the fun of it. And then once the jump scares are kind of over, we get serious with it, and then it gets to be a really, really scary movie.
You have to do what she tells you!
It was a challenge to put together all of it, all the different styles, with the documentary style, straight horror, jump scares. My favorite sequence in the movie, I guess, is when they wake up and the big stick figures are there. The real stick figures show up. That's my favorite sequence in the movie, I think.
We have to go.
Because then there's all the screaming and the arguing when Ashley wakes up, and then she realizes Talia is back. It's like, what the hell is she doing here? She must have done it. And then poor Talia finds her own hair on one of the giant stick figures, snaps it. That, to me, is absolutely incredibly fun. This is my favorite job I've ever done, Blair Witch. I've seen it over 100 times. I love watching it. I had a ton of fun making it. And it's pretty entertaining. Yeah, and just being part of the Blair Witch universe and having something, just being able to be part of that history is incredibly rewarding.